use the opportunity to bring up what is in your mind. There are agents of darkness in our midst. What are we really doing? I have told you about the message we sent to you, how we have suspended a conference president. That is one thing you can do from your local church level. If your constitution does not make provision for discipline of erring members, let that constitution be revised so that well spelled out steps might be reflected in your constitution on how to deal with a so-called member of the church who is causing trouble. You need to do that if you have not. So since people are in so many ways, there is no one specific way of handling a member that is erring, that is unruly, that is disobedient. But each case will be handled in the way it has come, according to his strength, his merit, and his demerits. So, what we are saying here is that the church must be sensitive, watch for the agents of darkness, so that you might be able to allow the Bible and the Constitution to handle that person appropriately within your church setting. And you need courage as pastors to be able to do this, because some people will like to tell you that they are bigger than discipline. Don't look at their faces. Only God is great. No human being is great. Number two, you don't need, this is the reason when the nominating committee of the church is working, the pastor must be there as an ex-officio member, because people cannot impose on you those who cannot help the system, or those who are not of the law, those who don't know Jesus, because they have name and they have their people in the nominating committee. They deliberately put them there so that they might be thorn in your flesh. If you are a gullible pastor, naive, the chairman of the nominating committee would like to dodge you and dodge your contribution. Nobody does that for a chief executive of any organization. Nobody does that. See all these companies, they cannot get any staff to work with any company without the recommendation of the chief executive and his approval. The church cannot be different from that. If I have something open my eyes, and I've challenged the issue of the Nigerian Baptist Convention. I have even checked the constitution. I saw that what people were telling me was not constitutional. The constitution makes me ex-officio member of all committees and boards. And henceforth, when the nominating committee is meeting, I will sit with them. People that will not work with me in the office cannot just be telling all those who will work with us. They don't know the stage where the work is and the type of people we need. When I gained this inspiration from the Baptist World Alliance and the World Council of Churches. I am in the nominating committee of the two bodies, these two world bodies. And the General Secretary will come to us with his suggestions on the people he has identified that can fit into different positions. And the nominating committee member will now deliberate. They bring in more people which he didn't know, they suggest, and they run mind with him. They get their background. They make him to know that this person has this background, he can do this, he can do that, he has done this before, and we resolve. That is the mother body to our convention. The Baptist Word Alliance. The General Secretary, Mr. Kalam, will be there. Even before the nominating committee will meet, he will call you and say, I'm going to nominate you for so position. Will you be able to do it? Where do we bring our own? We will be doing things in the yesteryear. And when we are suggesting change, some people will say, he wants more power. He wants more power. As if I will be there forever. The same thing, World Council of Churches. I am in the nominating and governance committee. Mr. Fisk, who is the General Secretary of the World Council of Churches, and his deputy, they sat with us. The only committee where they sat throughout when we were to make changes. And they already came with proposals. Because they are the people in 24 hours on the job. Those of us who just gathered came from different parts of the world. We have already sent nominations to the office of the General Secretary ahead of that meeting. And he will now compile and come with the background he has already got. It is not the nominating committee that will be looking for people for him. He had done the groundwork, the spade work. But at times people didn't go out, who had never practiced anything beyond the convention level. They will now become a clog in the wheel of progress. Say, no, we have not been doing it like that. Will you die in error? We have not been doing it like that. Does it mean that it is wrong if you have not been doing it like that? Wouldn't you be open to move forward? The world bodies to which we belong, they are most many miles away, and we are still there, very far away. So be careful about the people you put in position. And you need to know, when I was in the church, I didn't allow any nominating committee chairman to present anything to the EC without me knowing first. And if he or she is stubborn and go to present it, I said, Church, I don't have hand in it. I'm just hearing about this, and I know these members more than you. At times I begin to pick out some of them. I say, this is not to destroy anybody. Do you know that this one has in his cupboard? So you need to know your members also. Know them. Some of you are not visiting members again. You say visitation is not part of ministry. A lazy pastor. The Bible says that visiting the sick is a spiritual exercise. You don't need to allow your members to be sick before you visit them. You are thinking you don't want them to make you a tax collector. When you come now to visit them, they will be looking for what they will give you. You don't want it to make it a body. Go to the pulpit and announce, when I come to visit you, don't give me anything. I didn't come to collect stars. You owe so need in summer? Other. Other denominations are looking at us, are lording it over us. If you allow them to lord it over you. But as far as I know, nobody can lord it over me. In the either at camp or CCA, I will be a Kube. I tell them what is in my mind. You don't need to allow anybody to lord it over you, and you don't lord it over anybody too. Hijab in Oyo State. Oyo State has done its own hijab thing with a style because they learned from their counterparts. They said hijab can only, the Muslim student can only wear hijab in a Muslim started government school, and in the public school, if they choose to wear it, but they cannot wear it in a mission-oriented public school. Hello?